Hi guys, this is a
There's one in
video
the
just
bathroom of
giving you a
Delta.
few tips on how to play as the Machine Gunner class in Rising Storm 2. Okay, so whether or not you're American or a Viet Cong, the Machine Gunner is fairly similar. Okay, so let's first start with placement in a tactical sense of the MG class. So, the best place to hunker down, try and unload some rounds on the enemy is via a good vantage point, either on the flanks or high up. But at the same time, you want to try and make sure there is a bit of cover. There's a bush that you can duck behind to reload, for instance. Whichever a particular model you are using, one of its main functions is to provide a suppressing fire for advancing riflemen on your side. Or if you're very high up, you're just over the crest of a hill and only your head is showing, nothing more. Now the reason you want these sort of vantage points is so you can spray this kind of suppressing speculative fire at the enemy. Not every bullet is going to hit, but it certainly does what you want it to, which is suppressing them, keeping them hidden, or having to bandage or evade your fire. When you're playing territories, you will notice that at the end, say you are a defending team and you only have one or two objectives left, if the attackers have done very well, they will be flooding forward in spades. So this is where an MG can really help. If you can quickly get it out onto the flanks or just within, like just behind the cap. Often the enemy will be overconfident at this point and will run right into your target range. Be creative with your positioning. If you can find a spot where the enemy don't think you are going to be, you're probably more likely to take them by surprise and get more kills. So apart from the machine gun, you get a sidearm, which is most likely to be either a T-33 or a American Colt pistol. These are both pretty effective at close range. If you're trying to traverse across the battlefield and you know you're near the front line, it's much better to have your sidearm out, because aiming the MG is very difficult in a sudden high pressured situation. Okay, so you also will get a grenade. Generally it's a good idea to try and use this. Obviously check your map before you throw and watch out for any low ceilings, because you don't want to kill your own team. When you're reloading your MG, you should always move out of sight. If you are up against a wall with using the left control to go into cover, you should automatically bend down a little as you reload. If you are prone and you are shooting down a corridor where you can see the enemy, it is advisable to just move over a little whilst you're reloading. When you are lying down with the MG, you cannot lean around corners, so you have to physically move a little. Now, I know some people like to preserve their perfect accuracy record, but if you play the MG, you are better off unloading some of those rounds at the enemy. Don't be afraid to pull the trigger. So for instance, if you take the Russian RPD, you will shoot off between 650 and 750 rounds per minute, and the drum in all of these machine guns is usually carrying around 100 rounds. Therefore you can shoot several bursts without having to reload. I advise trying to reload as little as possible, because that is when you are most vulnerable. Okay, so once again, just don't be shy on pulling the trigger. It doesn't matter if a lot of the rounds are not getting you kills. This is a team game, and just by shooting bursts of suppressive fire with a heavy MG, you will keep the enemy at bay for your teammates. Right, another tip with the MG, and this applies to the sniper class as well, funnily enough. What you want to do is, once you've got a few kills, just move somewhere. It could just be a few meters left or right, but it is good once you've racked up a few kills. You don't want to be in exactly the same position, because you know what happened to those guys. They've respawned and they're going back to where they were killed to try and get you back.
Okay, they have RPG.
One of the problems with the MG, however, in Rising Storm 2 is that it does tend to overheat. That said, the barrel tends to overheat. So in Red Orchestra or Rising Storm 1, you could actually replace the barrel pressing 6. That no longer works with Rising Storm 2. I reckon there is still a way to do it though. Correct me if I'm wrong. So if there is a way, it is advisable. Every now and then, as the gun starts to heat up, you'll see steam coming off it. Can very well jam at that point. So you want to try and change the barrel of the gun if possible. If it's not yet possible, it might be something they are going to patch into the game. The machine gun is a very aesthetically pleasing weapon to use. It's one of the most fun classes to play. You can even try firing at the hip and do your best Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. And what it's also useful to knock enemy planes, helicopters, etc. out of the sky. Due to its heavy caliber, effectiveness at long range, and the high fire rate, with only the fixed MGs more effective doing this. Okay, so you want to use the long range of the weapon to your advantage. If you spray it in a general area, you will get the odd lucky kill. It's not like a rifle.
How long till Lottie, Commander?
Where you need a scope to make sure you get the kill. When playing the game, sometimes people can get a little bit overzealous on the voice chat. So to round this video off, I would say it's important whenever you're playing to just have fun. And it doesn't matter if you win or lose. I always find joining a weaker team and trying to hold out is more fun than an easy victory. Anyway, cheers guys, and I'll see you later.